Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. We live our lives by habit, habitually thinking the same thoughts, habitually feeling the same feelings, habitually acting and behaving in the same way. You notice when you're close to a person or you spent a lot of time with friends or people at work, you can predict how they're going to act or overreact in a certain situation. You just know that they're going to overreact or do something crazy. Well, they've been programmed that way, and you've been programmed to act the way you act. So it's important to notice your results and decide, do I really want to keep getting what I'm getting, or would I prefer something else? Maybe not jealously looking at another person's life, but seeing the contrast. If someone has something that you want, you don't have to take it from them. There is enough abundance in this world for everyone to have what they want. It takes focusing on, what is it that you really want? What do you prefer? And deciding that you're going to make that happen. You're going to go after it. You're going to acquire or retain something, and not because someone else has it, but because you believe in having it or doing it or becoming it. You will be a better person. You'll be happier and healthier and wealthier, and not take anything away from anyone else's experience. In fact, the better you are, the better you can help the people around you become. And all you have to do is make a habit of being the person you want to be, habitually thinking, feeling, and acting like you already are that which you want. You look around, it doesn't matter where you go, you see people producing results that they don't particularly want, whether it's at home or on the job or on the sports field. You find people who are overweight, they want to lose weight, yet they continue to eat food that just packs on more pounds. You see people smoking who say they would absolutely love to quit smoking. Every time you look, they're lighting up another cigarette. You find salespeople complaining that they're having difficulty selling, and yet they're not practicing the known sales procedures that top professionals follow. And you see managers, bosses, supervisors chastising someone in front of their peers, even though they know it's non-productive and it only aggravates the problem that they're trying to solve. All of these people know how to do better, yet they're not doing better. They keep doing what they're doing and they don't know why. Well, I learned that it's because we're continually getting results that we don't want because of paradigms. Paradigms is really the habitual way we think and feel and act. That's how I started this morning. How do you habitually think? What are you thinking about? Does your mind automatically go to all the problems that there are? All the circumstances that you wish could change? All the conditions that you don't want in your life? Well, are you hearing the people around you complaining, and we have to fight against this? We have to do something about that. We have to fight the good fight and make sure we get our peace, make sure we take down the other person. Well, that just brings more war, more problems, more victims. That doesn't solve any problems, it creates bigger problems. The habitual way we feel, there is chemical residue left in our body from anger and resentment and jealousy, all the things that have happened to us that we didn't like or complained about or were victims of. And so no matter how much we talk about positivity and unicorns and rainbows, there is still some residue of negativity. And we can see that play out when we really want to be on our best behavior, but someone triggers us. Someone reminds us that we're not where we want to be. Someone says something that instantly pushes a button, and it's like the chemicals of anger and resentment flood through our whole body. Then they pick up momentum and we start going in the direction we don't want to go. When I say I'm doing this as a morning mindfulness practice, I really mean practice, because most people are practicing what they don't want. Most people, maybe unaware, are continuing to complain about things going wrong in their life. It's not helping anybody. We have to become aware of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, and do something about it if we want to go in a different direction. We may have been unconsciously programmed by people who love us, loved ones who told us what to do to be safe, to be protected, to not get into trouble. And society has expected ways of behaving. What if we decided we wanted to do something that other people say is impossible? Everything starts in the imagination, and nothing has ever been accomplished without imagination first. Whether you wrote an exam, bought a house, invented a cell phone, or flew in an airplane, everything was once in someone's imagination. And so if you're going to go beyond circumstances, conditions, the environment that you don't want, you have to use your imagination for good. Instead of imagining all the bad things and focusing on everything as it is, we need to start to acquire the habit of happiness and use our imagination to focus on an end goal of a destination that we would prefer. So it's a matter of programming. It's a matter of repetition, of practicing, of unlearning an old program and learning a new program, something that will get us the life that we desire. Now, I mentioned the word paradigm. It's a multitude of habits, not just the way you do something, but the way you think about things, the way your mind automatically goes to a certain space. What if your mind automatically went to that beautiful dream goal that you have in your heart? What if you practiced going to that place in your mind of peace, harmony with what you want, friendship and fellowship, love, respect, kindness, generosity, abundance, prosperity. There's so many words that are on the positive end of the spectrum. And when you start to add emotion, you start to get into a calm, creative space, and you can say affirmations that make you feel like life is wonderful. You can say emotions, you can repeat affirmations, but you feel emotions. And when you feel emotionally involved with your affirmations, that starts to change the way you feel. It starts to change the way you look at life. It changes what you expect to show up in your life. And it allows the universe to move things into place so that you do acquire what you want. You become the person that you really want to be, but it takes practice, it takes persistence, it takes discipline, it takes practicing what you want instead of defaulting to what you learned. So Dr. Maxwell Maltz, in his book Psycho-Cybernetics, tells us that we can acquire the habit of happiness. And he says in this chapter, he discusses the subject of happiness not from a philosophical, but from a medical standpoint. Dr. John A. Schindler defines happiness as a state of mind in which our thinking is pleasant a good share of the time. From a medical standpoint and also from an ethical standpoint, that's a pretty simple definition that can't really be improved upon. A state of mind in which our thinking is pleasant a good share of the time. Well, happiness is good medicine. Dr. Maltz says happiness is native to the human mind and its physical machine. If you think of your body as a machine or an instrument of your mind, what's going on in your mind is what's controlling your body. We think better, we perform better, we feel better, and we're healthier when we're happy. Even our physical sense organs work better. There was a Russian psychologist who tested people when they were thinking pleasant and unpleasant thoughts. He found that when thinking pleasant thoughts, the tested people, the subjects, could see better, taste, smell, and hear better, and they could even detect finer differences in touch just when they were thinking pleasant thoughts. Dr. William Bates proved that eyesight improves immediately when the individual is thinking pleasant thoughts or visualizing pleasant scenes. There was a vision educator, Margaret Corbett, found that memory is greatly improved and that the mind is relaxed when the subject is thinking pleasant thoughts. Psychosomatic medicine has proven that our stomach, liver, heart, and all of our internal organs function better when we are happy. So if you want to be healthier, it starts by practicing being happy. Being happy no matter what the circumstances are. You can't look in the mirror and say, I'm fat and ugly, and beat yourself up and expect to develop the mindset of someone who is healthy and happy. It takes practicing loving yourself no matter what. looking yourself, maybe a really good practice to try, and this is one that might surprise you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look closely in one eye and tell yourself that you love yourself. Say, Susan, I love you. Laura, I love you. Aaron, I love you. Whatever your name is, look into one eye at a time. You're talking to your inner self, the real you. Remind yourself that you are loved, that you are beautiful. You are a divine spark of energy living in this instrument, this costume, this meat suit, this body. And your body will change and develop. If you think back to when you were a baby, a toddler, a young child, a teenager, a young adult, or the age that you are now, your body has continually changed. It will continue to change. Our bodies are a mass of energy, and they're vibrating at a certain rate, but even a dead body is still vibrating, and that's how it turns to dust. So your body, if you are vibrating in harmony with happiness and love, vitality, good health, you start to automatically take actions of a healthy, vibrant person. You start to exercise more. You start to feel that it's okay to sleep. You have to rest. The body is designed to rest and recover so that it can carry on, just like any machine needs to be oiled and gassed up, plugged in, reset. Our bodies need to be reset. And that comes from taking good physical care, good health, eating good food, eating nutritious food, mindfully paying attention to what we put in our bodies. Looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, even if the body has changed to something that we don't prefer. Once you decide that you're going to be healthy, you're going to stop smoking or drinking, or you can change one habit at a time. Acquiring the habit of getting 8 hours of sleep every night. Acquiring a habit of drinking 8 ounces, not 8 ounces of water, 8 glasses of water every day. Visualizing yourself as being healthy and happy. This machine that your mind is living in, you want it to be able to laugh and play and walk and remain healthy or become healthier. That takes focusing on what's good, what would you love? How does it feel now that you're happy? How does it feel now that you're healthy? Dr. Maxwell Maltz says, thousands of years ago, wise old King Solomon said in his Proverbs, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth up the bones. It is significant, too, that both Judaism and Christianity prescribe joy, rejoicing, thankfulness, cheerfulness as a means toward righteousness, and a good life. To be healthy, to be your ideal weight and feel great in your body, you must feel joyful, happy, thankful, cheerful, loving to yourself and to others. When you fill yourself up with love, that love radiates out of you. People can feel it. They see you as a beautiful being. It's just radiating out of you. Harvard psychologists studied the correlation between happiness and criminality, and they concluded that the old Dutch proverb, "happy people are never wicked," was scientifically true. They found that a majority of criminals came from unhappy homes. They had a history of unhappy human relationships. A 10-year study of frustration at Yale University brought out that much of what we call immorality and hostility to others is brought about by our own unhappiness. Dr. Schindler has said that unhappiness is the sole cause of all psychosomatic ills, and that happiness is the only cure. The very word disease means a state of unhappiness, dis-ease. A recent survey showed that by and large, optimistic, cheerful business people who looked on the bright side of things were more successful than pessimistic businessmen. It appears that in our popular thinking about happiness, we have managed to get the cart before the horse. Be good, we say, and you will be happy. Well, I would be happy, I say to myself, if I could be successful and healthy. Be kind and loving to other people and you'll be happy. It might be nearer the truth if we said, be happy and you will be good. You will be more successful. You will be healthier. You will feel and act more charitably towards others when you are happy. What does it feel like when you're happy? What does it feel like to be loved? Happiness is not something that is earned or deserved. Happiness is not a moral issue any more than the circulation of blood is a moral issue. Both are necessary to health and well-being. Happiness is simply a state of mind in which our thinking is pleasant a good share of the time. If you wait until you deserve to think pleasant thoughts, you are likely to think unpleasant thoughts concerning your own unworthiness. In his book, Ethics, Spinoza said, happiness is not the reward of virtue, but virtue itself. Nor do we delight in happiness because we restrain our lusts, but on the contrary, because we delight in it, and therefore we are able to restrain lust. Many sincere people are deterred from seeking happiness because they feel it would be selfish or somehow wrong. Unselfishness does make for happiness, for it not only gets our minds directed outward away from ourselves and our introspection, our faults, our sins, our troubles, our unpleasant thoughts, or pride in our goodness, but it also enables us to express ourselves creatively and fulfill ourselves in helping others. One of the most pleasant thoughts to any human being is the thought that he is needed and that he is important enough and competent enough to help and add to the happiness of some other human being. However, if we make a moral issue out of happiness and conceive of it as being something to be earned as a sort of reward for unselfish, we're very apt to feel guilty about wanting happiness. Happiness comes from being and acting unselfishly as a natural accompaniment to the being and acting, not as a payoff or a prize. If we are rewarded for being unselfish, then the next logical step is to assume that the more we beat ourselves up and make ourselves miserable, the happier we'll be. So that's totally absurd to think that the way to be happy is to be unhappy. There's no moral issue involved. William James said the attitude of unhappiness is not only painful, it is mean and ugly. What can be more base and unworthy than the pining, pulling, mumping mood, no matter by what outward ills it may have been engendered? What is more injurious to others? What is less helpful as a way out of difficulty? Being miserable perpetuates the trouble which occasioned it and increases the total evil of the situation. So it's not a moral issue. If you want to be happy, you have to practice being happy. Happiness does not lie in the future, but in the present. Blaise Pascal, the 17th century mathematician and philosopher, said, "We are never living, but only hoping to live and looking forward always to being happy. And it is inevitable that we are never so." You don't set a goal to make yourself happy once you attain it. You set a goal and work towards it happily, merrily going along, knowing that you are growing into the person you want to become. You are developing and changing by habitually looking at what you want, what you would love to create, how you want to feel, and act and behave as if you already have your goal. Act and behave as if you're already happy. Practice being happy no matter what. Life is a series of problems. If you're going to be happy at all, you must be happy, period. Not happy because of attaining your goal, not happy because you've earned it, not happy because you quit smoking or lost the weight or got the job or are now in love with someone else, but happy on purpose. When you are happy in your body, happy with yourself, happy with your results, happy with your life, happy on purpose, developing the habit of being happy, being love. Love is law of vibrational energy. We're vibrating at a certain rate of speed. When you raise your energetic frequency, when you raise your level to happy, healthy, love, prosperity, abundance, you attract what you're in harmony with. Practice being happy. Practice looking in the mirror and saying, "I love you." At first, it's going to feel really weird and awkward. Keep practicing it until you know it, until you feel love at a deep level, because you are love. You are divine love. Let's stop blocking it from radiating out into the lives of others. It is important to love yourself and radiate that love out and then you attract what you truly desire. Practice that. Practice creating a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice.